Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Puborama, and in today's video, we are going to be breaking into this week's deals and discounts for Grand Theft Auto Online. Not only are we going to be breaking into the deals and discounts, but there are some absolutely massive money-making deals this week, and some crazy changes in vehicle prices that we're going to be breaking into. So, make sure you stay tuned, as we'll be breaking into everything you need to know in today's video. Let's get into it. Starting off, as usual, we're going to be breaking into the discounted cars and the freebies. The two free ones this week is the Obey 8F Drafter and the JB700W. You can get the JB700W on the wheel spin if you're lucky. This is a pretty sweet sports classic. You can bring this over to your Avenger or your MOC or anything that can upgrade weaponized vehicles, and you can mount these little front-mounted machine guns on it. Not only that, but it also has slick mines that you can plop out of the booty hole on this vehicle, so it's a pretty fun little vehicle. I wouldn't say there's anything crazy about it, and normally it's not worth the fairly expensive price tag it holds, but I think it's a pretty decent vehicle for what it is. I wouldn't say it's the fastest sports classic either, though. A lot of the newer ones like the Turismo and Furnace Classic or Cheetah Classic will leave this thing in the dust. So it's a fun vehicle. I wouldn't suggest buying it, but if you get it on the wheel spin, it's a very cool car just to zip around and have some fun with. We have the 8F Drafter, which is available this week in the LS Car Meet. I really like the look of the 8F Drafter. It's a decently fast sports car. It looks really nice. I like the back of it. Definitely an Audi design on it, but the front of it's kind of mean like a muscle car, so I really like the vehicle's design. It's normally around $800,000 to get your hands on, but you can get it for free by finishing within top 5 position 3 days in a row at the LS Car Meet. This is quite possibly the easiest vehicle to earn in the LS Car Meet. Literally just do any race and finish within 1st to 5th place, and you'll get your hands on this vehicle, which is probably the easiest task ever. So I would definitely suggest this week to get your hands on this vehicle, as there's literally zero effort required. We got this week's new vehicle, which you saw me driving just a moment ago, the Karen Boar. It's an absolutely weird looking off-roader. It's around $1.2 million to get your hands on this week. Is it worth the price? Well, prices are subjective to the driver. I personally don't really think it's worth the price because there's not much all too special about the vehicle as an off-roader. I mean, it seems pretty fast, I'll be honest. Oh, well, sorry about that, sir. But it seems like it actually goes pretty fast. I just think it's a really weird-looking vehicle. But apart from looks, it seems pretty fine to me. It's fast, it's got pretty good off-roading traction, and it's a cool little unique vehicle. So, overall, I made a whole review on it. If you want to take a look at that, I'll link it in the description down below. But yeah, the Karen Boar, pretty cool off-road vehicle, and if this is your kind of style, make sure to take a look at it. Next up, we have the discounted cars, and we got 3 of them. We got the Pegassi Reaper, the Pegassi Zaruso, and the Albany V-Star. Now, I would actually be willing to say all of these vehicles are pretty decent deals. The Reaper is normally about $1.5 million, so saving 30% off of that is not actually bad at all. That's easily going to take it down at least $400,000 to around $1 million. That's a pretty decent deal. While the Reaper is not the fastest supercar or the best on handling, only going at around a top speed of 121 miles per hour, and it's about 40th place for the supercar in handling. It doesn't really need either handling or top speed because it's really about the looks when you're going for a vehicle like this, and I think it looks really, really nice. While the Reaper may not have a crazy amount of customization, that's fine with me because at the end of the day, it's a Lamborghini, and Lamborghinis look sick any day of the week, so I actually think this car is absolutely awesome. When it comes to top speed and handling, as I said, it's definitely not going to be winning any competitions, but it's not slow. It's just not incredibly fast. So for a very cheap price tag that it comes in this week, if you like the look of the vehicle, I would definitely suggest to pick it up. Next up, we have one of my favorite supercars in the game. This is the Pegassi Zaruso. The Zaruso having a top speed of 124.25 miles per hour. And even though the top speed still isn't that impressive on this vehicle, I mean, mean, heck, the Adder goes about the same speed. The really good part about this car is its actual acceleration and the handling that it features. You can see we're already basically up to our top speed, and the handling is very, very nice on this vehicle. You're not going to worry about grip or anything like that. Because of that, this vehicle is actually in 20th place for the supercars lap time, meaning that it's actually quite confident when it comes to racing, if that's what you wanted to use this vehicle for. While it may not have that top speed, definitely it's not going to be having any troubles whatsoever with handling or lap time in any way. That's price tag comes in at $1.9 million, making it a fairly expensive supercar. However, judging that it's 30% off this week, it's not a bad deal at all, probably more like $1.5, $1.4 million. So I would definitely suggest you also think about picking up the Zaruso. Very fun vehicle. The final car we have is one that I've never really loved the looks of. This is obviously based off a Cadillac, the Albany V-Star, and it's fast. It goes 126 miles per hour. It puts it in the top 10 for sports cars on top speed. It's a very, very fast vehicle, and while it may feature all of this top speed, the only problem I've ever had with this vehicle is that its handling is not so good. It's in fact one of the worst vehicles for handling when it comes to how really fast it is. So because of that, you got all this speed and then you're driving a boat, which means you're not going to be turning all too well. It's rear wheel drive, it's not all wheel, so yeah, it's got some problems going for it. She's a little heavy, and it's also a fairly inexpensive vehicle. I think it's around $1.2 million to pick up normally, so it's going to be like $900,000, $800,000 with the 30% off discount. I would highly suggest to think about picking this vehicle up if you like top speed. Apart from that, it's nothing special. I don't think it looks amazing, but it's a car, and it's a fast car at that. So if you like speed and power, think about picking up the Albany V-Star. Now we're going to break into the money-making strategies this week, which is actually some pretty decent discounts. First of all office buildings, when it comes to Dynasty 8 Executive, all office buildings and upgrades are 30% off. So as you can see, if we wanted to buy the Maze Bank office tower for $4 million, it's now $2.8 million, and all the upgrades as well. So if I wanted to put a gun locker on, the safe, and accommodation, boom, all of this is on sale. Not only is all that on sale, but as well, if you wanted to get the garages as well, so if we made our way to the garages on any of these properties, so I currently own Maze Bank West. If I wanted to renovate my garage this week, all of the upgrades on the garage as well is going to be 30% off, as we can see. And actually, I might take advantage of that this week because I haven't changed what my garage looks like on the interior, so this might be a perfect week to do that. I should also add, not only are there discounts on all office buildings, but it is 50% more money on special cargo sale missions. That is by far the biggest sale mission increase in a very long time, because we've only had a 50% increase once in like the past 2 months. So make sure, if you have special cargo, to sell it this week. Sure, it's not double money, but it's still a pretty massive increase. Well, for the final part of today's video, I've got some really bad news, and that is the price changes in Grand Theft Auto Online. Rockstar has decided to take it upon themselves to equal out what the GTA economy is. And what I mean by that is, for example, the Oppressor Mark II is going from $3.89 million of a purchase price to $8 million. Yes, you heard that right. $8 million. It is going over double the price it is currently at to $8 million. Yeah, oh boy, oh, give it up for Rockstar, oh boy, yeah. So essentially, if you're a newer player in GTA, and you're trying to get any of the newer weaponized vehicles that are incredibly important to get your hands on, you're screwed. Have fun. Apart from that, I'll be going over all the vehicles that have gone up in price and gone down. The ones that have gone down are absolutely useless, like the Armored Boxville. So essentially, we're going to be going over all the vehicles that were decent deals previously, and now Rockstar's screwing us on. Yay! Let's get into it. So, the Armored Boxville is obviously going down in price from $3 million to $1.3 million. Even at a $1.3 million price tag, this is an absolutely useless vehicle. It cannot survive any explosions. It's slow, and it's just mid. Do not buy the armored box fill. The Akula is going up in price. Who could have guessed that? So one of the best helicopters in the game is going from a $3.7 million price tag to a 4.5. So it's going to be $1 million more now, and it's about 25% more expensive. The Granger 3600 LX, an amazing off-road kind of SUV. You know, it's a pretty sweet vehicle. Well, that vehicle's going from $1.38 million to $2 million. Don't worry though, there's more. The DeClasse Scramjet is going from $3.48 million to $4 million on a price tag. And the Dubachi Champion, one of the best armored vehicles when it comes to Amani tech, is going from what it was at $2.995 million to $3.75 million. Now, I do have to call off cops before I get murdered, but already you can see that these price tags are not doing very well. Don't worry though, the Chernobog, the vehicle nobody wants or cared about, is losing about half of its price tag from $3.3 million to $1.5. We have the Imponti Deluxo. Oh boy, guys. Oh, I bet you can't wait for this one. The Deluxo is going from its normal price tag of $4.7 million to $5.7 million, gaining a $1 million price tag increase. Don't worry though, the Ruiner 2000, once again an incredibly outdated vehicle that not many people care about, is going from $5.7 million to $3.75 million. Still incredibly expensive for a vehicle that really is outdated as hell. Only gets 8 missiles, gets a jump ability. I mean, heck, the Deluxo beats it in every single way. Plus, you still can't really own your Ruiner 2000 because you have to go cull it out of your weird garage inside of your vehicle warehouse, which you have to own itself to upgrade. Weird. It's just a waste. Don't buy the Ruiner 2000. Don't worry though, the Thruster, which again nobody really gives a single crap about, is going from $3.6 million to $2.5. The Tula is one of the only welcome discounts I'm actually quite happy about. The Tula is going from its normal ridiculously expensive price tag of $5.173 million to $4.1 million. That's actually a decent discount, and I'm quite happy about that. That's really the only decent one. That's about it. We have the Oppressor and Oppressor Mark II. The Oppressor's going down. I'm happy about that. It's going from $3.5 million to $2.75. However, as I said, to counteract that, Rockstar has doubled the Oppressor Mark II's price tag up to $8 million. I am so furious about that. That is ridiculous. The Toreador is going from $3.66 million to $4.25. The Pegase Weaponized Ignis, which I don't have the weaponized version because I play on PC, so if you're in a newer generation console, just imagine this has a minigun on the top. But the Weaponized Ignis is going from $3.25 to $4.5 million. Yay. And the final vehicle we have for today's video is the RM-10 Bombushka, a vehicle that, once again, nobody gives a single crap about, going from $5.9 million to $4.75. Let's be honest here, these changes are absolute trash. Rockstar is a joke for thinking that anybody is going to agree with these, but once again, we're kind of just under the dictatorship that Rockstar has, and these changes are going to come into the game. They are all awful. They are all absolutely awful. The vehicles that are getting cheaper should be getting cheaper. The vehicles that are getting more expensive should not be getting more expensive. That's as simple as it is. It should have been Rockstar was just making the vehicles cheaper. That should have been getting cheaper and not changing the price tags of others. Why the Oppressor Mark II is now going to cost $100 worth of a shark card is stupid, and it is beyond me. This is only screwing the newer players in Grand Theft Auto Online. All of these vehicles, for players like myself and veteran players, are already owned. So essentially what Rockstar is doing here is they're making it so that any newer player in Grand Theft Auto Online cannot get an Oppressor Mark II, a Pegase Toreador, cannot get a Weaponized Ignis, cannot get their hands on the Deluxo, or the Champion, or the Scramjet, or literally any of the vehicles that you would ever want in the game. So, yeah, I'm very disappointed, but that's this week's update, so let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with Rockstar's doing. I'm really freaking mad, but there's nothing I can do about it. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.